Hi, today we are talking about web browsers and logging into cruise websites. Also, a little bit about searching online for cruise websites. And finally, I want to mention a little bit about VPNs. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi. This is Gordon from Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Friday. It's December 22nd, and today you get me rather than my sweetheart Allison. And so before we get started, I'd like to invite you to subscribe. Just click that subscribe button down there, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I know we ask this every time, but it really does help us out and makes our videos available for others who may be looking for similar information. So today I wanted to get started talking about web browsers. We get a lot of comments and questions, both in YouTube, on Facebook, and in our email about how do I log in, or I'm not able to log in to the website. So today I wanted to mention what we do when we are having trouble logging in. And again, first I'm going to talk about using your web browser on your desktop or your laptop computer. I normally use Chrome, and a lot of what I say is specific to Chrome, but it also is available within other standard web browsers that you find. On an Apple computer, you're possibly likely to be using the Safari browser as your default browser. Microsoft has included in Windows their new Edge browser, which is very similar to Chrome. Now, there's a lot of browsers out there, hundreds of them, and so I can't cover them all, but the basics that I'm going to talk about are basic to most web browsers. When you browse to a website, of course, we've all heard about what's called cookies. That is basically a trail that's left of where you have browsed to, so that when you return to a website, instead of bringing up the information specifically from the website itself, if there are items that are repeated, they can be brought up from your local computer, and so your browsing experience is much quicker. As well as it will remember what you've been there for, things that you have searched on before, and so on. Sometimes those cookies can basically mess up your browsing experience. And so most browsers that I'm familiar with have what's called a private browsing mode available to them. Chrome specifically calls it Incognito. Edge calls it in private. Safari just calls it a private window, and so on. Basically, cookies are turned off when you are using these private modes, and there is no history trail. Now, this has a couple of functions. One is that in case somebody is watching to see what you browse or where you browse, that's not available anymore. But in my mind, the biggest reason to do this is so that the cookies that have been there from previous web browsing sessions are not there. And what this does is this gives you a clean browsing session. So and I've got some screenshots here that I'll pop up and we'll talk about this, but if you go, say for instance, to the Princess website in a private session, then it doesn't really remember that you've been there. You may be asked to accept cookies for that session. Once you close that private window, those cookies are gone, but you'll be able to then browse without there being any sort of, I guess, hiccups from previous browsing sessions. Those cookies can kind of clog up the system because it can help to confuse the browser. There are so many instructions that these browsers are trying to receive from so many different places that really, if you use this private session, it's going to be more of a clean browsing session. In order to open up a private session, In Chrome or Edge, if you look up in the top corner, there are going to be 3 little dots. And when you click on that, then it will say in private or incognito window. And you just open up and there's a new window for you. In Safari or Firefox, or pretty much also in Edge and Chrome, if you click on File and go to New Window, you can pull up a new private window. This is shown on my on my Mac computer, but it's also available on your Windows computers as well. This will give it that when you log into, say, like I said, the Princess website, then it's a clean session. But it does also, if you have saved your password to your web browser, that may be able to be used so you don't have to remember your password for each session. But you'll find that as you then browse, you may be able to then log into the website without any further complications. This same kind of functionality is available on your smartphone. So if you are browsing for cruise line websites, you're going to find that you can do a private window session on the browser that's contained in your smartphone. I have an Apple iPhone and I use Safari on it, and so if I just click on the bottom corner, it will bring up the current browsing sessions I have open, but it will also give me an opportunity, or should I say a choice, to choose a private session. Also, Chrome is available for my smartphone, and I can choose an incognito window there as well. I'm not really familiar with an Android or other smartphones, but I assume that it's very similar to that, where you may be able to find how to do a private window session there. I hope this helps you when it comes to browsing and logging into websites. This can be helpful, especially if you're using a public computer, say on a cruise ship or at a public library. Definitely use the in private session or incognito session, especially if you're going to be going even just to your email or to some other kind of website such as that, even logging in to figure out hotel reservations and so on. By doing or using a private window, once you close that window, there is no trail, and so anybody else who uses that public computer won't be able to see where you've logged into. This is particularly necessary when you're using a public computer in a public place so that people don't get your login information. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about searching. When you search, say in Google or Bing or some of the other Yahoo or popular search engines, you need to be very careful about what you're searching for and about the destination that you click on once your search is complete. Say you want to find the website but don't remember what it's specifically called, or maybe another website is not specifically named as you might remember. If you search just the general term, that official company website may be the first one shown, but it may not be. The concern I have if you do a search for a website such as a cruise line or a hotel is that sometimes it'll come up with the name of a travel agency or some other similar kind of a pricing website that includes the name of the actual website that you were searching for. Like, say you're searching for Hilton hotels. You may get a travel agency or some other discount pricing website that includes the name of /Hilton in it. And that will may be a little confusing because you may go there and it may look very similar to the actual website, but it's not the official website for the company. And you may book an actual booking, but it may not be the proper pricing. There may be a commission that's involved for those that you're booking through, or it just may not go through at all. So please be aware when you're searching for Princess or Hilton or hotels, Best Western, or what have you, that you are actually going to the destination that you are looking for. Yes, there are a lot of good discounting places such as Expedia and the like, but you want to make sure that where you are going through is proper, that it is a website that has good reviews. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about VPNs. So when I talk about a VPN, VPN stands for the words virtual private network. And that's a way that you can browse a little more secure. What happens is when you're browsing on the internet, when you're out on the web, so to speak, your data is just kind of bouncing around from here to there and everywhere. If you use what's called a VPN, you create a tunnel where you have now a private pipe that goes between you and maybe the virtual private network company, that all of your data is encapsulated inside of that pipe and it can't be seen by others. What this is good for is if you are in, again, a public setting such as a cafe, maybe you are using your own computer, but that data can be tapped by other people. There are specific attacks known as man in the middle and so on, where people can hijack your data if you're not careful. If you use a VPN and a well-known company provides that VPN, then you can be assured that your data is secure, or a little more secure, inside of an encrypted pipe. And so your data is encrypted and it is not visible as plain text to others. There are commercial VPNs that you can use. Maybe your work has a VPN that they want you to use, specifically if you're doing some work for them. And so just know that there are many options out there. Make sure that I don't have any specific that I use or would recommend, but you'll want to make sure that it's a reputable company. You also, along with VPNs, I use Chrome Remote Desktop, which allows me to remote from my computer on the ship or wherever I happen to be to my computer at home. And so then I'm now using my computer at home to do anything I need to, and it's not even on my local computer. So if my laptop gets lost or stolen, then I don't have to worry about that data being gone. It's secure on my computer at home. So that's another option you may want to consider. I hope this has been helpful in helping you understand how to better use a web browser in order to make sure that the sites that you're going to are proper and secure as you search for those sites. I also hope that you'll be able to understand how a VPN works or how best to use it. Now, I don't know everything about computers. I like to know I know a little bit more than most people, but again, I don't know everything and I don't know all of your personal experiences. So please put in the comments below how you can help others with using your VPN or doing a search, or how you've been able to more effectively log into a website that you've had trouble. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that this video has been helpful. We'll be talking to you again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Goodbye.